Good morning. It's June 27th, and today I'm going to start here at the Conexus Arts Centre, our main theatre, and walk down to the University of Regina and back. So that's the plan for today. So this is the east parking lot of the Conexus Arts Centre, which is the major theatrical performance space, and also has a lot of, other meeting space. There's an upstairs and a downstairs. Main auditorium is upstairs and some smaller spaces downstairs, and so it's used for conventions and things like that. And this is the main entrance here. It was built about the time of the centennial in 1967, a little bit thereafter. So it has a nice view over the lake here, with the Science Center there in the distance across the lake. This is where your touring Broadway shows will come in, and fairly big name acts. I saw Celine Dion here, I saw the Moody Blues here, seen Cats and Jersey Boys and Phantom of the Opera and things like that here. Nice view of the lake. There's that path down there which I walked along once before, and which I will join at some point today, but I think I may walk back along it instead of walking along it to get to the university. And there's the front of the auditorium. Just for fun, I'll take you around to the stage door, which I've gone in many times for various performances. In fact, at one time, when our daughter was little, she used to get babysat in the green room backstage during symphony performances, because we were kind of knew the maestro, Victor Sawa, and his wife, and they had two little girls, and they would all be babysat in backstage, and we'd watch the concert. Then after the concert, we'd pick her up and bring her out into the main lobby for the reception there, and it was great. So of course, when things let out, all these doors open and people come out this way, so you can empty out the theater very quickly. Hello, Asilov. Big parking lots, of course, as one gets in these things. Good place to practice driving. I brought Alice out here to practice her driving in this parking lot at least once, I think. Then, of course, this is the backstage loading zone. And then this is the stage door entrance, where I've, as I said, I've gone in many times. I performed on this stage many times with the symphony. I did narration for them for a few things, and been back here when Alice was dancing, and I directed a show that was on here once, and so been back here a million times. Sung with the symphony with choirs and stuff, and once in a production of Merry Widow as well. So I'm as familiar with the backstage here as I am with the front stage. Okay, so what I want to do is just get over on the regular sidewalk and walk down to the University of Regina today. Excuse my clearing my throat. I seem to have a frog in my throat. There's offices in here as well, although the symphony has a building over on College Avenue. I'm not sure what they've still got in here, except obviously they are one of the major tenants here, although not recently, but generally speaking they are. So we're just going to go over here and then walk down alongside Wascana Parkway to the university. It's about 21 degrees right now, going to 26 today. Not a cloud in the sky. Another beautiful summer day in Saskatchewan. Here's a sidewalk over here, I'm sure. That might be muddy, so let's just go around here where it's a little grassier to get onto the sidewalk. There we go. So this is Wascana Parkway, it's called. And it'll take us straight down to the university. When I come back, I'll walk on the path down by the lake. So I did walked over on that side last week sometime, I think. Maybe? It's hard to remember. Lots of green grass, lots of green trees. It's another pretty day. I figure anybody coming along here that sees this in a car is going to maybe think I've got a radar gun. Might slow them down, we'll see. There's a bike path there that the bike is in. I'm not the only one talking to myself. She was talking to herself as she went by on the bike, presumably doing a Bluetooth headset. But you can't be sure. I remember the first time I saw the parkway years ago, these were tiny trees in the middle. I think the first time I was probably really aware of it was when I came up here from Weyburn to be in the Saskatchewan Honor Choir when I was 17. It was my first year of university. Yeah, so I would have been 17. Because I turned 17 the month after I graduated from high school. So, and my school in Weyburn, Western Christian College, had I think he's speeding. It's hard to tell with motorcycles, they always sound like they're speeding. What was I saying? Had a first year university program as well. Associate of Arts degree, it was called. And so I stayed in Weyburn to get that degree. Now over there, yesterday I walked up to the top of that hill that you can see over there. You get a great view of the city from up there. It doesn't look that high from here, but it makes a big difference in looking out over the landscape. Anyway, and during that year, it was the first year they had what was called the Saskatchewan Honor Choir, which was auditioned choir. Supposed to be high school students, but of course I was as young as a high school student, even though I was technically in college. And they needed some extra singers that year, so I got to be part of it. There were 4 of us from my dad's choir, 4 boys, came up, and we rehearsed at the university up here. But that's the first time I was really kind of aware of the Wascana Parkway here. And I remember quite clearly for some reason that these were just tiny trees along here. Hadn't been planted all that long before, it looked like. And now some of them are quite large. So those buildings up ahead of us are the University of Regina. It's always pretty over here with the sun on the green grass, and the shadows of the trees makes an interesting and pleasant park area. So this is one of the streets that brings you out from the Arts Centre parking lot. And I was walking over there last week because my dentist is just down there, and I did that 2-part walk with the dentist appointment in the middle of it. Yeah, still a puddle here. We did have rain this week. I don't know when we'll get some more. It's supposed to be hot and dry, I think, for the rest of the week. Morning. So when I come back, I'll walk on the path down there. So I know there's one person on YouTube watching. If you're on YouTube, say hi. If you're on Facebook, say hi. Got a ways to go yet. Just got started. It's warm. Going to be warmer yet. See a very nice path down there. So I'll follow on the way back. Of course, there's always geese and ducks. Second person I passed going the other way, up here instead of on the path. This is more direct. So again, very nice divider there with the big trees on it now. So July 27th, that means we've got basically 2 weeks until all our health restrictions are lifted. One of the first things I'm going to do is walk the wrong way around the lake. And I will not be wearing a mask anywhere I'm not required to by the local business, and even then I'd be tempted not to go into a business that still requires it. We'll see how that plays out. Anyway, looking forward to that. We should have a fairly normal summer here. My daughter's off getting her second shot today. And then we'll be a fully vaccinated family. She's only 20, so it was never a real concern with her anyway, but she is going back to university this fall, so. Again, there's the other path that we'll follow. It curves away from us here. And we'll go on up here and take a tour around the university and hopefully into the quad, what they call the, what could they call it? The academic courtyard or something like that. First time I went in there, I got kind of trapped. Didn't want to go out the same way I'd come in and couldn't seem to find any other way out with all the buildings still being locked up. It may not be now, but you still have to wear a mask, and so I won't go inside anything. I wouldn't walk around inside with the camera anyway, but just passing through, like there's a connecting structure between two buildings that I would normally pass through. But I don't think I can do that yet. There's the university coming into sight more clearly. Not a university I ever attended. I took an off-campus University of Regina class. First, I took a computer programming class in Weyburn. So long ago that our computers were pets, Commodore pets. My brother took it too, and only time, because he's 5 years older than me, only time we were ever in a university class together. And I believe, at least the way I remember it, I got a higher grade than he did. That may be That's probably true. I'm probably not just misremembering it. That's not impossible. There we go. There's the sign. University of Regina. There's a bigger, more impressive sign down at the other end. I can't actually see what's on the screen right now because of the sun. I don't think there's been any more comments since I said hello to Azalov. I'll cross over up here and get closer to the buildings instead of staying on the sidewalk way out here. A little shade wouldn't be a bad thing. Classroom building. Not a very exciting name, but this one has the observatories on top of it, so it always took my fancy, being the sciencey, geeky guy I am. Space guy, science fiction writer guy. A little bit of shade there is nice. I don't know if there's much point in going along that sidewalk though. Not unless I go up, which I'm not quite ready to do. I'll stay out here now. Laboratory building. Probably because it has laboratories in it, I'm guessing. Both times I've come to the university on one of these walks, the video has been popular on YouTube. I think it's from people who are considering the university possibly. See, there's a way up there that would take me into the quad, but not ready to go in there yet. This building I've been in a few times. The first time that there was an anime convention here in Regina, it was held in here, very tiny. But I had a table and sold quite a few books, and the table was cheap. So I'll definitely keep doing that, assuming that the convention has survived COVID and comes back. Research and Innovation Center. Now, again, ordinarily you could just go through that building, but I don't know if you can now or not, and get into the quad. I suspect it's locked in anyway on a Sunday in summer. There's a daycare in here somewhere. Wascana Daycare, which is why there's a playground here. This is not for university students. I don't think I can walk around the end of it, no. The bookstore's in there, if I remember right. It's actually a hallway just the other side of those windows, but then the bookstore is in this wing. You can see it's very quiet, not many cars in the parking lots. Bar bookstore, what'd I tell you? And coming up next is the building okay, that's College West, that one's called. Coming up next is the building I know best, which is the Riddell Centre. It's got the student centre in it, and the student pub, the Owl, but it's also got the University Theatre, which is a theatre I've performed in, and attended shows in, watched my daughter dance in. So I've been in there many, many times. There's also a smaller black box theatre called the Shoebox, after the Jackie and Morris Shumiacher, who were friends of our family, who funded it. I've been in there a few times too, for this and that. And back when I sang with the University of Regina Chamber Singers, we rehearsed in this building for a while. When I first sang with them, we rehearsed over on College Avenue, on a building that's not there anymore. Here's the Owl, the pub. You get the lobby in there, and then the theater is just directly ahead past that lobby space. This is a big kind of lobby area as well. It has seats and stuff in it for students to relax in. Then there's a food court further down that way for the students. Well, for anybody, but I guess I should cross over and walk up and down the, what's it called? Research Place, I think they call it. Just to be complete. So we'll just go up and down the street over here. Thank you for not stopping for the pedestrian. Got his license plate too, I could report him. This is Research Drive, that's what this piece of street is called. ISM Canada, this computer company, computer services. If we go up there, we can walk under the overhang. That'll be exciting. Down the colonnade. Oh, I may not be able to get out down here though. Perhaps not my wisest move. Oh well, we'll sneak through the bushes. Unless there's over here we can probably do something different. Go through the parking lot here. This is like loading zone area back here. Not exactly the most scenic of things. This is actually the Roy Romano, what do they call it exactly? Provincial Laboratory. Oh, there's a nice little seating area here. Which is where all the COVID tests come. And they work, of course, on many other things. Communicable diseases, veterinary diseases. Yes, the Roy Romano Provincial Laboratory. He was premier in the 90s. Met him a few times. Main thing I remember was he and his cabinet and who else, I don't know, he rented the Kramer IMAX Theater at the Science Center where I worked at the time and brought them all for a private showing of the Rolling Stones IMAX film. I remember that well. What was that? What was the... I think I can remember the name of the film. It was a concert film, and it was called... I don't remember. Probably had the title of a Rolling Stones song, but I don't remember which one. Start Me Up? That doesn't sound right. So, lots of grass. There's the lab behind us. I'll just cross over and walk back down the other side of this street, Research Drive. Get back to university. It's one of those days I'm going to wish I had some water. It's quite warm. This is called the Terrace, and it has various offices and things in it, and a really nice lobby space where receptions and things are often held. So I've been to quite a few of those here. Oh, the fountain's going down here. Well, we better go take a look at that. Also, I'm being buzzed by a fly or a bee. I'm not sure which. This is nice. I don't think I've ever seen the fountain going, or noticed it particularly. A simple little fountain, but very nice. Nice kind of shady seating areas. They look like they're designed for vines to grow over them, but they haven't done so here. That one over there, I think they're starting to climb up the trellis that they've made. As most buildings are, or have an element of, this stone is Tyndall stone, which is former seabed. And if you look at it, you can almost always find at least a seashell or two. Like there's one right there. Fossilized seashell. And you can see a few others in there. Very common. And I think some of the pattern is actually undersea worm tracks. So, hi Roger. Good to hear. Solid audio and video. Yeah, I haven't seen a unstable internet warning. Although on the other hand, I can't really see the screen right now unless I'm in deep shadow. Anyway, the terrace. Flowers are out. Looking quite lovely. So there's another look at the Roy Romano Provincial Laboratory. All right, back to the university and around. Well, we're in the university, but back to the main part, the square part. The square part is the real part. This is like an extension. And not technically university buildings like ISM. Obviously the provincial laboratory. There's a nice little courtyard in there too I walked through last time I was down this way. This is the Petroleum Technology Research Center, which is why it has a pump jack in the front of it. Oh, who's that? Theodore, is it? Yes, hello. Welcome. Still lots of walk left. Ow. I think something just bit me. Downside to summer. Certainly the mosquitoes have come out. There's another building or two back on that side that I won't bother with today. This is more of ISM, their Center of Excellence, because insight is the new advantage. Wonder how long it took a committee to come up with that. Nice and shady here anyway, which is nice for the moment. All right, back across the street. That's still the Riddell Center in front of us. Up next is the education building. I mean, you'd think they're all education buildings, but that's what they call it. Now you see, if I didn't think it was locked, I could go through that door into the academic courtyard or whatever they call it. And maybe it's not locked. I don't want to walk all the way down there and find out, so I'm going to stay out here. I'll get in there, but not till I get around to the west side. I've been in this building many times too. In fact, I mentioned singing with the Provincial Honor Choir. This is where we rehearsed back in 1977, that would have been. It was because of that trip that I associate that building across the street over there. I always associated that very strongly with the University of Regina. You can't really see it, but it's kind of triangular and it's a heating plant. So this will take you down. Now, it's possible if I go up there, I can get down into the center of campus from here. But it's, nope, it's blocked off, I think. Okay. And then as we carry on along, the next thing is the, well, I think of it as the gym, but it's not called that. And I've been in there many times too. It is where the gym is. Well, once I see the sign, I'll know what they formerly call it. I think swimming pools are in there, and it's basically the gym. Center for Kinesiology, Health, and Sport. There you go. So it's not just the gym. And my daughter's a kinesiology student, but she's going to the University of Toronto. You got gymnasia, faculty of kinesiology, psychology, various things. Swimming pool, yes. Headquarters of the Regina Rams offices. That's a football team, though. They don't play in the gym. Oh, there we go. That building over there, that triangular one. Always something that was imprinted on my mind on that trip back in 1977 as being, that's the University of Regina, even though there's all these other buildings. Although many of these buildings didn't exist in 1977. which was what? Holy cow, 45 years ago? 44 years ago? It's amazing since I haven't aged. Something could have been 44 years ago. Oh, there's something going on over here. Yesterday I walked by a cricket match. We'll take the walkway over here and see what they're doing. See cricket again? Nope, this is flag football over there. I think, looks like, yeah, definitely. Flag football. North American football, not soccer, even though there is a soccer net here, not currently in use. I can see there's been a comment or two, but I just can't read them at the moment. Maybe if I step into the shade here. Something about a heat wave. Well, yeah, it's warm next week here, and warmer to the west, I think. Hi, Kirk. You're going somewhere, which I can't read. It's going to be even hotter tomorrow, yeah. It's not actually hot here right now, not by any reasonable standards. It's only going to 26 today here. But these concrete buildings in the bright sunshine do tend to make it warm when you're up against them. And this week it's going to be, I think the hottest day I saw was 35, which is certainly hot, but not unheard of. But I know that the further west, I think they're getting more heat. And the Pacific Northwest is having a big heat wave. So this to my left now will take me down into the, I call it the quad, because that's what universities usually call it. They call it the academic courtyard, I believe. I didn't go down here last time I walked down to the university. Having gone to school in Arkansas and having grown up in Texas, or started growing up in Texas, and having all my relatives live in Missouri, and having visited them often in August, it's very rare we have here what they would even consider a heat wave. Can I go this way? I'm kind of wandering aimlessly here. So it's always possible I'll get myself shut up somewhere if I'm not careful. Like here. Oh well, I can take the steps down into the loading dock. How often do you get a tour of a loading dock? I mean, that's the kind of quality content I offer. I think I will be able to go this way. some sort of path that takes me somewhere. So that's one of the older university buildings, and these are some of the newer ones over here. That'll just take me around to the building. There's no way through, I don't think. Well, let's go look. I think it's just an entrance and no path through. Yes, that's right. So we'll go back this way. It's kind of what happened to me the last time I came down here. Since I don't really know it very well, I just wandered and hoped to find a way through. And there's no path there. So it was a mistake to come down here. I either have to walk through the rough ground under those bushes, which I don't think I want to do, or I have to go back. Oh well, at least you got to see the parking lot. More quality content. Looking up there. So when I was up on the hill the other day looking this way, these are the towers you see. And at the moment I cannot read the screen, so if I ignore you, that's why. Okay, then we'll go this way. Maybe. I don't think there's even I don't think the walkway even goes through down there. Looks like it's just to turn around and no path through necessarily. All right, I'll go around this way then. One of the original buildings there. I believe that's the library. No going through there. That's funny. I've gotten myself. Last time I came this way, I got into the courtyard and had trouble getting out, and this time I never found my way into the courtyard. Well, we'll get there this way. Dum-dum-dum. Okay. Gets us moving back the way I want to go, at least. A lot of these square paving stones are actually quite loose. You'll hear them rattle under my feet. One of these buildings is the library. Maybe it's this one. I've been in the library many times, but I never come in, like I'm never up here. I'm down at the entrance level. I never really paid much attention to which one it is. You can see the pavement here has suffered from the freeze-thaw cycle and the weed growing cycle. So you come around here and the whole place looks deserted. And this building might actually be deserted. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not much of a tour guide, I'm afraid. There certainly is a deserted feel to this building. So I don't know that it's the library. And there's no way down. I thought there might be a way down into the courtyard here, but there's not. However, had I made my way into it, this is the central sort of academic courtyard, quad, whatever you want to call it. So that's the Riddell Center again over there, the little building sticking up a little bit. So we were just on the other side of that when I came out of Research Place. And of course, it's very, very empty right now. No classes and just nobody around. It'd be a little, there's security around. It would be a little creepy walking around here in the dark right now. It's a little creepy right now. It's almost like you've ended up in a dystopian science fiction movie, because even the architecture looks like something out of a dystopian science fiction movie. Here, I'll take a moment up against this dark background. Maybe I can read if there's anything else here. Keith, hi. And from Theodore. Need GPS in my own city? No, I never get that lost, but being precisely sure which path goes through and which doesn't. Oh, there's a nice breeze. I'll take that. I think this building may be deserted. No, there's lights on inside it. It's just that those back windows have been broken and never replaced. Yeah, doesn't this look like something out of a 70s science fiction movie after, after the worldwide pandemic has killed everybody except your intrepid hero who's now wandering around looking for food and shelter? That would be me. You could certainly film it up here and it would fit right in. Maybe a little dressing up to make it look even more decrepit. Let's go this way this time. As I walk down the back, you can hear those, maybe those steps shifting under my feet again. I really should know which building is the library. It's really a lovely library inside, very interesting design. And I've been in it, but I don't recognize it from the outside. Ah yes, there's a way down up here. And this has brought us full circle around the university campus, back to where we arrived at it. So I'll go down and join the walkway across the street and head back to the Conexus Arts Centre alongside the lake. I don't entirely know what the function of this big open space with nothing in it except paving stones is. I suppose you could use it for an outdoor function of some sort. The weeds always find a way. You need a little bit of dirt and they start growing. So right down there is where we came across from the sidewalk and got here in front and started walking along the university in that way. So we have circumnavigated the University of Regina. Well, that's a dead end. I could get in the grass there, but I guess I'll stick to the path. You've circumnavigated the University of Regina with somebody who really doesn't know his way around. See, I showed you those right when we started. So we came down here and went that way. Now we're going back. Okay. I do want to take a little further down to the right. There's a artwork by Joe Fafard that I've only walked by once. Joe Fafard is a very noted Saskatchewan artist, well, Canadian artist. He died not that long ago, had a foundry in Pence, did a lot of brass sculpture, among other things. And there's a piece over here that I will take you to, which I visited only the first time I walked out here, so it's only the second time I've been to it. So there's the university, leaving it behind. You can see it up ahead there. Looks sort of like a bronzed Stonehenge. Oh, I think there's people inside it, so maybe I won't go into it today, because the whole point of going in is to turn around and show it, but we'll just go back on the path then. I can't remember what it's called, but it's quite cool. I'll still walk over there. At least I can see the name of it. Don't know what's going on underneath it. I can see people there. Oh! Gotta watch out for the gopher holes. Almost sprained my ankle. That's why I generally prefer to stay on the path instead of heading out cross country. I don't know what they're doing under there. Anyway, this is the artwork. I'll have to see what the name is. Right, I knew that. Jardin de l'Esprit, Mind's Garden. And then here we are back to the lake. And this is the other side of it. It's quite a spectacular piece. Okay, we'll get back on the path and then we'll follow this back to the Center of the Arts, the Conexus Arts Centre, which is where the car is waiting. If I get some more shade, I'll see if there's any more comments, but at the moment it's quite hopeless. So we're heading back over there to the Peo building on the other side of the lake. There's the hill I climbed up. I guess that was yesterday. I was on top of that. Must be losing weight. My shorts are getting loose. Sorry, still can't read whatever's there. So, farewell to the university. We'll curve away from it up here in a minute. Lake is always over there. You don't usually find quite as many people on this path as you do on the one around the, I think it was the proper lake, the lake proper, which is the one I walk around on Fridays. But it's very pretty along here too. Water is very blue today because the sky is so clear, although I said not a cloud in the sky when I started, but we're starting to see some now. Daytime heating, even when there's no rain in the forecast, you can get thunderstorms developing. Know that that's in the offing today, but it can sort of come out of nowhere. Bit of shade here, maybe I can see if there's anything else I can read. Nope, nothing new. And again, not actually a natural lake. This is all caused by the dam on Wascana Creek over on the Albert Street Bridge. Taking another look here. Change hands. Usually my right arm doesn't complain too much, but today it's complaining about the weight for some reason. Still prefer to hold it with that hand though. I guess I could walk shirtless and you'd never know, but the rest of the world would, and I don't want to subject them to that. Hey, how are you? Somebody I knew. It's a small city. Well, it's very pretty along here, as it is most of these places I walk. There are parts of town that aren't pretty, but why would I walk there? Warehouse district I've been in. It's not exactly pretty, though it has some interesting old buildings. A couple of neighborhoods I walked through that I probably would prefer not to walk through again, where I've encountered people who have no compunction about yelling things at me as I walk. there we go. Just wondering, what are you wondering? What camera I'm using? It's an iPhone 11 Pro. It would shoot in 4K, but you can't live stream in 4K. And putting 4K on YouTube, apparently the processing takes forever. Also, it takes an enormous amount of memory on the phone, of course. Okay, so the sidewalk joined up with the actual bike path here is what's happening. There's always geese, and they're usually in your way. It's very nice down here. The breeze off the water is cool too. Very close to the water here. And again, that's the hill I climbed up yesterday. If you check out that video, it seems a lot higher when you're on top of it than it does looking at it from down here. Now, that's a poplar tree, and all this kind of white fluffy stuff is the seeds from the poplar tree, poplar fluff. I remember a story years ago when they were shooting a movie here with some fairly well-known Hollywood actor, and this fluff was flying around, and he was incensed that he was being subjected to these conditions where there was fluff flying through the air. Yeah, somebody actually used a bell. That's nice. Thereby reinforcing every stereotype of spoiled Hollywood actors. Worst area for what? I'm not sure what you're asking. Yeah, back you can see the university again opening up behind us. Need some shade before I can read it again, I think. Although the background of the water helps. Well, go to the beach. Good for you. Enjoy. Thanks for stopping in on the walk. Here's my beach. Wouldn't want to go swimming in it, as you can see. Now, this is technically taking me out of my way if I was heading straight to the car, but we'll walk this way and get back to the car once we're back around at the front of the Conexus Arts Centre. More grass, lots of green grass. The green, green grass of home. Well, looks better than the grass in our yard, which is very shaded and just needs to be replaced. We need fresh sod, but it hasn't risen to the top of the things to spend money on list. So there's the art center over there. Car is just the other side of it, so we still got a ways to go to get around there. I think I've probably gone over an hour on this walk. won't be too much longer. Oh, what's that? I don't actually know where we stand right now. We are, per capita, fairly high crime rate. I don't know if we're worst or not. Property crime, break-ins, that kind of thing, primarily. For the usual reasons. People looking for money to buy drugs. Most common. Morning. We're probably a bit neck and neck with Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, Calgary, up into the Prairie Cities for some reason. But again, it's a per capita thing too, so. I don't worry about it too much, although I have had the garage broken into over my 30 years here. Had my garage broken into 3 times. But the first time I ever had anything stolen was in Weyburn. Somebody stole something out of my car in Weyburn. Okay, we'll go this way now, actually, because this is more direct to my car. And our house was broken into way back in the 70s sometime, and still has really serious locks and like metal screens on the windows, that sort of thing, that Margaret Ann's, my wife's grandfather, put in because of that break-in. But that's hardly a new phenomenon. If you read old newspapers, they're full of stories of crime. Just human beings. And if you're religious, it's a sign of the fall of man. All has sinned. So here we are again, coming up on the Conexus Arts Centre where we started. My car is just the other side. I know there's more comments. I can't read them. Comment anyway. Because I walked down on the lower level, I'll go up the ramp and walk around on the upper level to get to the other side this time. So again, this is the loading area for loading stuff in backstage for concerts and things. Because there's the fly space there above the main stage. Will take us past the stage door again. Right there. This time we'll walk along on this upper walkway. 13th is nice, and of course it's a short distance from our house. There's a liquor store there now. As of 3 days ago it opened. So we do all our shopping there. There's a Safeway that's been there forever as our main grocery store, and there's a butcher shop we bought meat from for years, and there's a chocolate store and a cheese shop, and a florist, a fish store, and now a brand new liquor store. So we don't have to go very far afield. It's literally, what, 1, 2, 3 blocks? 3.5 blocks? 1 block, 2 blocks, 4 blocks? North of us. And I've walked along there and will again. Possibly this week I'm going to do last week I did an up and down, up one street and down the other from College to Victoria in the transition area. And I thought this week I might do that in my own area, in the cathedral area. I've walked on many of the streets, but I haven't done it systematically. Okay, my car's down to my left, but I have to get to where there are stairs down there. Or take this ramp, which will wind me way down to the end. I don't think I'll take the stairs to get another view of the front of the Conexus Arts Centre. There'll soon be things happening here again as the restrictions lift. On July 13th, everything gets lifted completely. And there's my car. So how long was this? 1 hour and 12 minutes. A little longer than some. Not extraordinarily. We'll take the white Volvo because that's my car. So, that's it for this one. Thanks for walking with me, or watching the replay if that's what you're doing. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.